Progress daily. In order to get the opportunity, you must show up by any means, whatever it takes.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audate podcast. I'm Lory Audate, the co-host for Audate, and together we talk about topics related to business, sales, and SaaS. How are you doing today, Andy?
Phenomenal. It's a new week, and I'm excited to take business to a new height and a new level.
You sound like you have a lot of energy. It's only Tuesday.
Yeah, doing a lot of cold plunging, getting into the water, cold plunging, working out, so on and so forth, eating healthy. So a lot of that makes you have the right energy, especially to grow and scale a business.
I agree. It's all about having your routines and things of that sort. Well, want to go into today's podcast going into a question that we have been asked, and this is in regards to Progreda, our software, and specifically, how can Progreda help a local business in Las Vegas? Because we do have a lot of online content. We have talked about online businesses, online coaches, course creators, but this topic will be dedicated to people that have a good old regular brick and mortar local business. Number one, I mean, to start off, have you seen people succeed that have local businesses that are not necessarily 100% on the online space? Does Progreda still service those type of businesses?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We tremendously add tremendous amount of value to small business owners that happens to be local businesses where they serve a specific territory. So, for example, if your business is in Henderson and you serve the Henderson community in Las Vegas, that community gets to know who you are, like you, trust you, want to do business with you, and you get to have the right marketing systems behind you to be able to capture their name, email, phone number, and build a relationship with them, customers.
Right. We actually do have a few. And I think some of your early signups or members were local businesses. Is that right? Like you just happened to meet them in person. They shared what they were doing. You're like, well, this is what I can do. And they kind of went off from there. Or did they come from Instagram, some of your early adopters?
We had a mixed variety, starting from locally for sure, and then also people who followed us on social media and were previous customers of our previous business.
Amazing. Well, going into the technical aspects, how can Progreda have or provide solutions that address specific needs or challenges that a local business may be facing in today's climate, marketing, sales, and all of that fun stuff?
Well, the first thing that a small business owner needs to do is to have centralized area for all their customer data. We found that many small business owners they don't have one place where that is truth for customer data. So name, email, phone number. We've seen small business owners who have business cards of their customers all over their desk, sticky notes here and there. They may have an outdated CRM that they're using, as well as a Google spreadsheet and their customers' contact details in emails, and it's pretty much all over the place. In addition to that, they have customer data inside of Instagram, Facebook, Messenger. So they have their customers' data all over the place. The first thing that you want to do as a small business owner is to get organized and have it in one specific place. That's where Progreda comes in, is to organize your business. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is have a spot where all your customer data is just one place, which is
Why would you say that's a pain point? Like, why is that a challenge? If a business owner is not organized or if they don't have contact informations in one place, why is that a challenge for a local business in your experience?
the reason that it's a challenge is because they don't have one true place. And the challenging piece is when I ask a small business owner, how many customers do you have? How many emails do you have? There's typically they don't have that answer, and it's because it's unorganized, right? They don't have enough enough data in one place to be able to look up a spreadsheet or look up a sheet and say, hey, this is how many customers that we have. So because it's all over the place, they don't have the ability to market and retarget customers. So for example, when I go to a small business owner from a marketing perspective and I say, hey, let's send an email blast to all your customers, it becomes actually painful and challenging. Why? Because they don't have all the emails in one place. So if they were to do an email blast, they would have to go into their personal email and download all of the people's contact details, plus go into Instagram, and whenever someone messages them their email address, just remember to copy and paste that, plus go into their cell phone, look up any emails that were present, plus go into their stack of business cards and capture the people's email and so on and so forth. So all of that becomes a tremendous amount of places. It just becomes hard to email, to do an email blast. And so the email blast is never done. Now let's transition to another type of marketing tool, which is a text message blast. So when I go to a small business owner and say, hey, let's do a text message blast to reactivate your database, your past customers, to send a promo of your business and their special offer. Let's send a promo. And well, we don't have all their phone numbers in one place. So how could I send a text message blast? You can't. So when your business is looking to reactivate your customer base, or bring in new customers, because you don't have it in one centralized location, it makes it tremendously difficult to be able to do those marketing campaigns. And once you're able to whip up a marketing campaign with ease, then you'll start seeing more business comes in. So I'll share with you an example. We had a local business owner who was in the cosmetology space, and when they transferred everything to Progreda, they had phone numbers in this location, emails in this location, text messages in that location, and from their phone, Instagram, their personal email address, their old CRM, so on and so forth. All of these platforms, once we consolidated it and uploaded it right to Progreda, we found that the person actually had about 7,000 different customers that they can send an email blast just like this, or a text message blast just like that. And they weren't doing that before because it was tremendously difficult. They had all the data in so many different places. They said, I'll get to it next week. I'll get to it next week. I'll get to it the week after. Their customers never got any marketing campaigns. So once you have one place to organize your business, it makes it tremendously easier to do those marketing campaigns that allows you to bring in new customers.
So it sounds like there might be local businesses out there where they actually have opportunities sitting on Instagram messages, some notepads that have, contact information, to-do list, potentially even they might have contact information of leads or clients in their cell phone, but they're not doing anything with it. Like they're not able to send 100 emails, 1,000 emails. They're not able to send 1,000 text messages. And I could see how that would cost them potential money, right? If a business is trying to launch a new product, a sale, it'll be very hard to send 1,000 emails, on your Gmail, for example. So Progreda can come in as a solution where you put all your names, your emails, and now you can send emails, text messages, depending on what you're looking to achieve.
Correct. So when a small business owner is ready to bring in new revenue, they're like, hey, this month we want to bring in new revenue. We say, great. There's a couple ways that you do that. You can activate your current customer base, so people that you already have in their emails, their phone numbers, so on and so forth. Or B, you can run a new marketing campaign to generate new potential customers. Which one do you want to do? And many times they'll just say, hey, let me just pay for ads and pay for Facebook ads or Google ads and so on and so forth, because they're thinking that they need new customers when they already have the resources available, which is an email list or the phone list of their past customers. And those are the people who are most ripe to go ahead and do business with you. So many times a small business owner, you can just send a text message blast with a special offer and say, hey, let's say, for example, the business owner that I shared that has 7,000 names, emails, and phone numbers of their past customers, which they weren't marketing to at all. If that business owner sent an email blast and a text message blast to all 7,000 would have gotten an alert that said, hey, we have a special offer. Because you're a past customer, we're going to give you an extra 20% off. How much new business would that company make? A lot of new business. And the reason for that is because they had the customer's name, email, phone number. So the first thing that you got to do, especially when using Progreda or any tool, is to get organized.
Yes, I think that's 100% right. We just mentioned it's asking, are you going to spend money on new leads? Or would you like to reactivate your current leads, the customer base? Well, with that being said, would you say that Progreda helps improve the efficiency of the operations side of the business or the sales and marketing side of the business?
Progreda is primarily designed for sales and marketing. However, what we found is that Progreda can actually step in and support you with the operations and to keep your business organized in general. So here's an example of on the sales and marketing side where Progreda is going to support you keeping yourself organized. In Progreda, there's a feature called the Opportunities Dashboard. And in the Opportunities Dashboard, it allows you to have each name is an actual card that allows you to be able to track not only their name, email, and phone number, but the last time that you contacted them, any pertinent information. You could take notes on every single phone call that you've had with this individual, all in one dashboard, and you're able to identify and see the stage of the sales process. So let's say, for example, I have 4 stages of my sales process. The first stage could be when someone's a new lead. So in the opportunities dashboard, I would see a graph with all the cards of every person that's a new lead. So I can see, okay, great, I got 270 new leads. Now on the second stage of my dashboard could be appointment set, meaning that person set up an appointment. And under the appointment set stage, I may be able to see 12 appointment set. So when I look at the dashboard, I can see, okay, great, I got 270 new leads. I got 12 appointments set. That's only 2 stages. So from an overview standpoint, I can see who's the actual lead and who actually set up the appointment. Now, the next stage could be appointments show up, meaning that out of all the appointments show up, I can see exactly how many appointments showed up. And then that would be the third stage. And then the fourth stage could be closed deal. Now, in Progreda, it's all customizable. You can customize it specifically for your business. But in my case, in this scenario that I share with you, 4 stages is all I need. So now that I have these 4 stages, I can see from a broad overview how many leads were created, how many appointments were set, how many of those appointments actually showed up to the call, and how many appointments that showed up to the call actually closed. Now able to have a diagnostic and a broad overview of my sales process. And so this may not be just a feature of sending text messages and emails. This is just getting organized so that way I can make the best decisions for my business. So that's how a small business owner is going to be able to use to really streamline their sales process. You can't grow something that's not measurable. So if I want to make more money and I know that, hey, I need more appointments, what we got to understand is, how are those appointments being generated? What are we doing to get them to show up? How are we closing those deals? What are in common between all the people that close the deal? What are in common with all of those people, so that way we can duplicate that process? This is how you grow, double and triple a revenue for a company, is by having the right data right there to make the right decision. And that's where Progreda really shines, is to give you the right data to make the right decision.
Right, because I agree with what you mentioned. It's intended for marketing and sales. However, it also improves operations. There's elements where because you have a dashboard, because you're able to have all your team on there, because you're able to see the last interaction with the client, you're able to see the stages of the client or lead. It really gives you a bird's eye view of the health of the business. It's like a pulse check. Hey, where are the leads? Where are they stopping? Where are they buying? Why are they canceling? Things of that sort. One of my favorite parts about it too, I think, for a local business, is the ability to do the reviews. Can you share a little bit more about that, or requesting reviews to be able to get that online presence?
For any small business, one of the elements that you're going to need is social credibility or social proof. So when your customer is searching between making a decision to do business with you versus your competitor, one of the things that they're going to look for is the reviews. They're going to look to identify, what have your past customers' experience been like? Well, one of the biggest review platforms happens to be Google. So how is a so-and-so salon doing? Or how is so-and-so tax services doing? Or how is so-and-so law firm doing? They go to Google and they say, okay, this company has a ton of 1-star reviews. Instantly, your customer is going to make a decision. I'm not going to do business there because they have a bunch of 1-star reviews. Now, we know that negative news moves faster than positive news. So it's possible, and we've seen it time and time again, where a small business may have 15 1-star reviews, but they have thousands of customers or even hundreds of customers that they've served. And those hundreds of customers that they've served, unfortunately, because they don't have anything bad to say, they just don't even say anything at all. So the 17 people that may have had a bad experience at your company compared to the 493 people that had a great experience at your company. The 493 people, when they don't say anything, the 1-star reviews, hurts a small business. So to combat this, what you want to do is you want to ask people to leave a review. So how powerful would it have been for a small business if they had a system that when a customer came in, as soon as the transaction is done, our system or the customer system, our customer system automatically had a process. The business had a process to ask for their review. That's where Progreda will shine as well. Automatically. So when your customer comes in, they purchase your product, they purchase your service. As soon as they complete their transaction, they instantly get a text message and say, hey, would you leave us a review? So instead of you having, in the scenario of 17 1-star reviews, you would have a total of over 500 reviews with 490 of them being 5-star, inviting your potential customers to come and do business with you. So instead of your customers seeing your 1-star reviews and going to the next, look, if you own a local business, it's almost impossible. If you're a big business, it's almost impossible to negate and never get a 1-star review. You're going to have someone who just happens to have woken up on the wrong side of the bed, and no matter what, they're looking for places to give a 1-star reviews for. So if you're going to play small, then you won't need this. But if you're planning on playing big and getting your business known, then you want to have a tool to get not only known, but ask your customers to leave a review so that way your future customers can also choose you.
Yes, that's very important. Now, for a local business owner, there are levels, right, to the team. Sometimes you have owner operator. So that means that they are involved. Typically, they might be on site a couple times a week, or they might be there for the start of a shift, end of the shift. Sometimes it's not owner operated and they have a manager, they have a sales team, they have front desk, things of that sort. Who typically actually uses Progreda? Is it expected that the owner is logging in onto Progreda? Is it expected that the marketing sales team, or is it everybody? Like, hey, you got a team of 20, you're all getting on Progreda. What does that typically look like on a local business team size?
That's a great question. The primary users of Progreda are going to be the users that communicate with customers. So this could be sales representative, customer service, appointment setters, and so forth. The people who actually communicate with customers. So if you're communicating with a customer, you're going to use Progreda. That's the primary user. Now, the secondary user is the person who oversees the communication of customers. So this could be the business owner that wants to make sure that what customers say, the customer's experience are being, having the best experience. That's a secondary user. And also, the secondary user could be the one that is using the data in Progreda to make the best decisions for their business. So, for example, if they notice from a marketing standpoint, if they notice that most conversations starts from Instagram direct message for their business as the start of the sales process, then they now know, hey, out of the last 150 leads that came in, or the last 150 customers that came in, out of those 150 customers, 120 of them actually started off from Instagram. And now you know where to double down your marketing, right? So it allows the business owner to be able to make the best decision for customer acquisition and customer management.
Right. And I like how you mentioned like primary user, secondary user, because I do think there's levels to it. There's a difference between like a sales team and appointment setter. They're going to log in every day, right? They're like, this is going to give me my structure on who to call, who to email, who to follow up with. And then you have a social media team. For example, if they're using the requesting reviews or posting on Instagram through Progreda, they might log on once a week. They might not be there on every day. But what we have seen also is that business owners typically they carry the app on their phone so they can actually see the activity just to see overview kind of what's going on. Like are there any trends on customers' questions or customers' experiences? What do you think the biggest breakthrough has been for one of our customers that has been on Progreda? Local business, they implemented it, they've seen the growth. What do you think has been a common breakthrough that has happened by adding Progreda to their tools as a business owner?
One of the biggest things that I notice in our small business owners that are utilizing our technology is going to be getting things off of their plate and automating it. So, for example, let me give you something quite simple. In Progreda, so for a small business owner, when they get a phone call and they're busy. So let's say the local tax consultant, they get a phone call and they're busy. Instantly, what they do is they just don't pick up that call, right? They just let it go to voicemail, and then they hope and wish and hope that the customer that called leaves a voicemail. If they don't leave a voicemail, then it's like, okay, no worries. Like, hey, the person didn't leave a voicemail, I'll call them back later. What our software can do in the meantime of you calling them back is instantly respond with a text message. So when somebody calls, let's say I'm the local tax preparer and someone calls my office, I'm currently with the client, but someone calls my office, Progreda will automatically respond and say, hey, unfortunately, I'm not available at the moment, but how could I help? Therefore, inviting that person to then reply and ask, hey, are you open? I have a question about my taxes. Hey, can I schedule an appointment? Now, with the response, our AI chatbot can actually respond on your behalf to either set up an appointment or gather the right data to give back to you, so that way you can get back in touch with them. Now, the value of this, if you're a tax preparer and someone is calling you to file taxes, for example, if you don't respond instantly, what they're going to do is they're just going to go to the next person right down on the list. Like, they go to Google, they look up tax accountant near me, they see you, they call you, you don't pick up, they just go back to Google and go to the next person. Think about what you would do if you were hungry. Let's think about if you were in a place that you're starving, you want to order food for your family, and you call a restaurant and they don't pick up. Are you just going to leave a voicemail and hope that they call you back within the next 24 hours? Or are you going to go to the next company and find a new place to eat? Your customers are doing the same thing. So they're searching. Your customers are searching. And instead of having them search, as soon as you miss that phone call, our software will kick in and respond to your customer, getting them off of Google and actually interacting and engaging with your business and starting up and teeing up the sales process for you. So that way, when you're available, you can come back to pre-written messages that your customer wrote to you. So that way you can engage with them and start the sales process with them.
Yes, I can definitely relate to being that consumer that if somebody doesn't answer or nobody acknowledges it, I'm like, well, I'm moving on to the next because I might forget, or I might not
Yeah.
be available in the next 30 minutes. Usually it does just come down to like not trying to forget what I was trying to do initially. So it could be for like a restaurant, it could be an appointment for a facial, nails, even nail appointment. It's like if I don't get a response, I'm like, I'm going down the list, whoever picks up the fastest. So I think from a consumer, it just makes it easier to either purchase, book, or get some basic questions answered. So I like
Yeah.
that element as well. Well, I know there's a lot more information in regards to how a small business owner can use Progreda. What is the best resource or the best place if a business owner is listening to this and wants to learn more?
So you can actually try Progreda for free for 7 days. We'll give you a 7-day trial, so that way you can attempt and set this up inside of your business. Just try it, see how it works, and then on your trial, we can assign someone to you who will guide you to really maximize use of the platform. So if you want to try it, go to useprogreda.com/podcast, and you can actually do a free trial with us today. That's useprogreda.com/podcast.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to the next podcast. We'll dive more in details in regards to how Progreda can support business owners. Thank you so much for your time, Andy, and thank you for everybody listening. Be sure to subscribe to get an alert for our next episode. Have a great day.